Good evening, Star Pupils. I'm your host, friend, and life coach, Mrs.Divine, and I bridge the gap between intuition and intelligence. Today, we're going to talk about owning your black sheepness. Owning your black sheepness. So, there's a song called Bye Bye Black Sheep. So, as I was thinking about this, I like to go back when I was a baby, and maybe my mom sang me some nursery rhymes, or maybe um, she played one of those videos that had random nursing rhymes in there, right? Um, so I'm like, what is one that they tell the children? And Baa Baa Black Sheep came up for me. And so what is a black sheep? What's a black sheep to you, Bay?
The odd member of the group.
The odd member of the group. Yes, the odd member of the group, the one who stands out to me. The black sheep is the one who um, has a level of consciousness, a higher level of consciousness than the people who they are around. Okay, and so then what are some of the things that a black sheep um, does? A black sheep, I feel like one of the key things is that they realize that they don't think like everybody else. And a lot of times that can make them either be a liar because they're trying to lie to convince themselves and others that that is, their experiences too, or how they do things, or what their viewpoint is, right? And they can also be labeled as introverts, I feel like, because sometimes they just keep to themselves because they do think so differently or don't have the same opinions, right? So to me, those are some of the things that a black sheep does. What about for you?
Mm, I think it's more vague, just like they do something different than they group. Like they could be like a family member that smokes cigarettes when nobody else do.
Hmm.
Or like somebody that's not into the church when the rest of the family is, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or
I don't
even,
know if it's even unique to personality types.
yes. And so that's a great point. When I was saying what I was
Because
saying,
I was just saying, even being an extrovert could be,
exactly,
way of being a black sheep.
exactly. And so that's what I was going to say. What I was saying earlier was me classifying things in the labels that they just categorize. I feel like a lot of black sheep into, period. Because honestly, as a black sheep, because I would say I'm a black sheep, and I would say you are too. But as a black sheep, I would never classify myself as an introvert or an extrovert. I felt like that there were certain situations where if you saw how I acted, you would say, oh, she's an introvert. And there are other situations where you definitely would think I was an extrovert. So it all depends on the situation, what it is that we're doing, we're talking about, how stimulated my mind is for me to have much of anything at all to say or to even want to interact. Um, I choose how I use my energy, right? So I would never classify myself as one or the other. But I was just saying things that they normally classify a lot of black sheep in because yes, someone who will be labeled an extra, any extreme really, any extreme, there could fall a black sheep in either one, any extreme, just like in the middle. So it's lots of black sheep can be anyone, and they could be anyone, but they're different from the others around them. Even if you find a group of black sheep. I feel like you, all your friends are black sheep. Sometimes they may call them misfits, right? And that means because they didn't fit into any kind of like real category, but just calling them a misfit puts them in a whole other category. And even amongst those misfits, there are still different levels of black sheepness or different kind of black sheeps, right? So just because they, I don't know, click up together doesn't mean that they are all in agreement with the same types of things. It literally means that you think differently than other people, and that you, I feel like that you dare yourself to think, because to think different is when you realize that you are thinking like everyone else. You don't even realize that you're thinking. You don't even realize that basically you're a conscious being able to make a lot of the decisions that you're making. You don't even know that you're making decisions.
I feel like I do.
I do too, because you're a black sheep. That's what I'm saying. I said I think you're a black sheep. I feel like black sheep know that they're making decisions. If they're not a black sheep, they feel like everybody doing something to them, or things. They can't do this. They can't do. They don't realize how they are literally making decisions left and right all day. But I feel like black sheep know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you make decisions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you think about sheep, right? Because they could have said black monkey. They could have said black. They could have said black bird, but they said black sheep. And so then I know they call a lot of people sheeple when they aren't thinking with their own minds. They're allowing themselves to be programmed and to react like, a puppet.
I told them goddamn black monkey.
All black monkeys. There's one black monkey in every family. No, but they call them sheeple because I guess the quality of sheep is that they're easily domesticated. And so when they call somebody a sheep or refer to a person as sheeple, they're saying that they are people who are easily domesticated, easily programmed, easily, herded around, because they start to rely on that keep on their keeper to take care of them. They start to rely on their keeper to take care of them. And so then that's what a sheep is. And so to call somebody a black sheep is to say what? I'm going to, while you think about that, because I am going to come back to you, Mr., for an answer. I'm going to play the song that I'm sure somebody played me when I was.
I like night shift just because I'm a night owl. I tend to stay up late. I was
Hold on, there's an ad.
It's just going on your page. I thought you couldn't play.
We're going to see. Might not be able to.
What?
All right, so that's like Bye Bye Black Sheep, right?
I didn't know they had a master.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let me pull up the lyrics for you. This is my point. And that's what how old were you, sir, when you first heard that lullaby?
Like 2-3 months.
See?
I remember it.
So here's my thing with these fairy tales and lullabies and stuff like that. They are not out to be innocent and sweet with your children and sing them to sleep. You got to ask yourself, why am I singing my child a song about a cow and a spoon and a hey diddle diddle? I don't know. But these are things that we're taught to tell our children. Mother Goose, or the one with the 6 ducks or 6 hens or something. Everybody lived in a shoe. They had so many children, they didn't know what to do. And I forget how it goes. But you get what I'm saying? Like, these things are catchy. What you mean? These things are catchy. But
how come ain't nobody catch on to that shit back then?
Because
so many children, she didn't know what to do. Who was she living in there with?
I'm telling you, I can go on and on when it comes to nursery rhymes.
Was she living in there with somebody, or was just her popping out babies?
She had a man. She had to have a man. Whoever she was who lived in the shoe had so many kids she didn't know what to do. She had, but I can go on and on and on about the fairy tales that we watched, especially those freaking Disney shows, how they mess up your chakras, how they try to program the child's consciousness, and how you're completely oblivious to it as a parent, as a grandparent, because even if you know, you have to own your black sheepness, even within the spiritual community, okay? Even within when you're learning what you're learning and gaining knowledge outside of your physical vessel and understanding more to what there is of life. Even when learning that stuff, you have to maintain your black sheepness. And again, the black sheepness to me is that spark inside of you that allows you to listen to your own thoughts and see your own thoughts as more important than the thoughts of anyone else out there. Okay? And especially if it makes sense to you. But of course you can't be closed-minded, right? You gotta do your research and things like that. But if it makes sense to you, you owning your own thoughts and you letting your thoughts, or those questions that come up and arise, you letting your thoughts provide you with solutions, and every problem you think of, you have a solution to based on your thoughts. You follow that road of solution-based thinking, then you have a life, I feel, that is more in alignment toward the life that you want to have. Okay, so you keep following those thoughts, you keep gaining more consciousness and awareness, you keep following your awareness. So even if your consciousness asks you, what color, why does he have on a green shirt and he doesn't have on a green shirt? He has on a blue shirt. So it could be something that's wrong. There was a reason why you had to go down that route. So just acknowledging and following your consciousness will allow your consciousness to grow. And your consciousness growing is that black sheep. Okay? That's how I feel. To really own your black sheepness is to continue to follow your consciousness, especially when you feel like you found your group. So even if you're in that group of misfits, still follow your consciousness and see where else that leads you, because you're not going to be, this groupthink is not supposed to be done for all units. We're not supposed to groupthink. We may have things that we agree on or things that are on our path, but everybody's not going to have the same path. And that's what consciousness too. We're just naturally going to go down different rabbit holes, so to speak. But anyway, bye bye black sheep. Oh, and my favorite nursery rhyme is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but the entire song. See, most of us don't know that there's an entire 5-minute song of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, because we say the same little verse of it over and over and over again. But if you really look at the lyrics, of the full lyrics to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, it is really powerful for the subconscious mind of the child. But they only tell you the part that they know. I mean, they only tell you the part that they want to tell you, and you think that that's all that there is. If you have a baby, you should read them the full version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Other than that, that's the only one so far I found that I like. And I felt like it was actually used to raise the consciousness of children. All the rest is, I don't know, like Rockabye Baby. And this is my last example I'm going to give. Rockabye Baby on the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. Something, 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 and down will come baby, cradle and all, right? Why are we reading that to a child? Why are we saying that to a child? Why are we singing that to a child? That they're in a tree swinging and it's rocking and then they all fall. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, but we do that kind of stuff. Anyway, back to Baba Black Sheep, right? So let's see the lyrics. The lyrics are, what are they? Let's see. All right, so it goes, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. 1 for the master, and 1 for the dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Why are you singing your children this? And what does it mean? So the real question is, what does it mean? And so that's what I was asking you earlier, Bay, when I said, what does it mean? What does this song mean? Baba Black Sheep. What are they saying to us? And let me just tell you this, while you're thinking of your answer, I
was just thinking, I don't know the rest of the song.
That's the whole song. I'll let you look at it. And so Dame, Dame, I had to look that up. I believe when I looked that up that Dame meant like a woman who's a master or who's in charge. Let me see. Dame definition. Yeah, so it says like a title given to a woman who is like a rank in knight, a knight in rank, my bad. So yeah, so he's giving for, yeah, like the woman. So he's giving, did you remember it?
So it's like someone, you, the third party, are asking the black sheep if he has any wool. And he said, yeah, I got these 3 bags for these 3 people.
And he refers to the 3 people as
the master, dame, little boy.
Down the lane, yes.
So that's it. And that's the end of the action and story, right?
Yeah.
You got some more? No.
Let me see if there's any more to it. We can put full lyrics. Because my consciousness said, follow what you just said. Hold on. Oh, the original version was, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, Mary, have I 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, 1 for the little boy that lives down the lane. So that's it. So I guess what changed was saying, have you, yes sir, yes sir. It was, yes, Mary, have I. Everything else was the same. And so my natural thoughts of this, so these nursery rhymes and fairy tales are all allegories. So they're meant for our subconscious mind to pick up, not necessarily our conscious mind. It can easily bypass the conscious mind. So did you think of anything it can mean to you? What, anything come up for you?
No.
No. And that's the thing. Consciously, it can easily bypass the conscious mind. But now that your conscious mind is aware of the fact that this didn't sound right, it's going to help you to understand what was meant. But you have to first be alerted to the fact that something was up with that in the first place. And so That's all this baby shark stuff. I don't know. But anyway, so to me, first thing that came across my mind was black sheep and consciousness, right? And because I like to say own your black sheepness, okay? Because owning your black sheepness is very important. And I'm gonna get to that in a bit. Um, so I'm like, black sheep is like black sheep, which is who we refer to, who I would say I refer to, myself, when you are realize you're a conscious thinking being and you are separate outside of all these other people around you, okay? Because you don't think like them. So when they say black sheep, that's what that reminded me of, kind of like myself, right? And so it's like, if that's me, what are they saying? Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. One for my master, one for the dame, one for the little boy who lives down the lane.
So it's Mary's master, and the master has Dame and Mary.
Hmm?
So she had oh, no. Okay, so Mary was asking to see if he had any wool. He was like,
Where you get Mary from?
yes, Mary, 3 bags full.
Yes, Mary have I. And it wasn't Mary, it was like Happy Mary, Merry.
Oh.
Great point.
Okay,
yeah, I should have showed you lyrics. So what it's saying to me is that this black sheep, although I feel like it's symbolic to my mind, it's meant for my subconscious mind, and my subconscious mind likes to figure things out and bring it to my conscious mind. But that is saying that if you are a black sheep, subconscious mind, you will still have a master. And the first one says, yes, Mary have I. So they're happy, right? So you are happy to have a master, which we're going to assume is a male master if they also reference a dame, which is for the female aspect. And one for the little boy who lives in a lane. That one I've yet to figure out. I've yet to figure that one out. But what I'm saying, though, is that it speaks to the black sheep. It speaks to the black sheep. Like, if you don't know if you're going to be or not, when you are, saying that although you might be a black sheep, you're going to allow yourself to do things where you're not owning that black sheepness. So do things where someone or something else still is able to control that black sheepness ability that you have. And so the important reason to own your black sheepness is that then you will live a life that's in more alignment to the life that you feel is the best course your life can possibly take, because you're going to go toward happiness. You're going to go toward what your reality is that you're creating, because you're always following that thinking feeling of your mind where it's like problem solution type of thing, or not even problem solution, thought and make it happen type of thing. It's the flow, it's the connection, it's the between both sides of the brain working together. I'm doing my best to explain this. I'm really doing my best to explain this. And I'm trying to think like if I was talking to, our son, trying to think if I was talking to him, how I would explain. But when I talk to him, he kind of gets me, so he understands. He's like, oh yeah, mom, like this. And so I think it makes sense to a lot of people. But yeah. So anyway, you got to really own your black sheepness. Your black sheepness is what sets you apart. It's what makes you aware. It's what makes you conscious. It's what's going to make you find yourself. If you do not own your black sheepness and you do not stick to your black sheepness, then what you end up doing is you end up suppressing more of you. And it's going to have a different effect on you than with somebody who's not a black sheep. Because someone who's not a black sheep, for the most part, aren't aware of the fact that they help co-create the life that they want to live. They're not even aware of the fact that the life that they say they want to live most of the time isn't theirs, and how it's been, how groupthink is put out there, right? So how you would feel as if you're a part of everything, but it's easy for you to just want to be that part of everything instead of being that part, that single part. Like knowing that at any point that you can work with them, but you are not them. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think you get me too. But not owning your black sheepness will make you suppress you, because you know at that point who you're not allowing to come to the forefront. You're knowing who you're not allowing to have the experience that they're saying, this is what we should do based on what we've concluded together. So for example, if you want to, if you want to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. So if you want to leave that job because it is so stressful, and you're a black sheep, so you are very aware of your thoughts. Again, a black sheep is someone who is very aware of their thoughts, who is very much in tune with consciousness. So as a black sheep, you're realizing that you do not like your job. It is very stressful, and it doesn't pay you enough to, I don't know, miss all your children's volleyball games. Okay? It doesn't pay you enough to be as tired as you do when you come home. And you barely get to see your children like that, whatever. As a black sheep, you not doing anything about what you have just come to recognize, what has just come to your awareness, you will suffer the consequences of that more than the person who is not the black sheep, who realizes that their job is stressful and they don't want their job anymore. Why do you think that is?
Because it's a social norm that people that's not black sheep will be more comfortable with, as far as being at that job or doing whatever they're doing, because that's where they had in life.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I had to like clear it up, but you got it. You got it.
See, we get each other now. So you're right. So part of being a black sheep is to understand that the way society thinks kind of pisses you off anyway. And I'm not saying pisses you off is the term, but it can be irritating, right? To see so many people not thinking for themselves. It could be irritating. So a black sheep will naturally feel uncomfortable in regular society. And so now if they have shifted their realities, this is how I'm speaking. This is how I'm interpreting for you, okay? So as a black sheep, now they have identified that their thoughts are different from society's thoughts on a lot of things. Okay. And they have shifted their reality within society, around society, to make them comfortable, right? So now if they see some discomfort within their own quote unquote reality that's different than, just the rest of society, then they understand that level of uncomfortability in a different way, versus someone who's not a black sheep. They aren't already irritated by the thoughts of society and the way society thinks. So they think like that too. And a lot of society thinks like nobody likes their jobs, or a lot of people don't like their jobs. So we stay anyway for the money, for this, for that. Society makes it seem like it pacifies. It makes it basically is saying, "Oh, I feel bad for you. I feel sorry for you. We feel sorry for each other." That's kind of the interaction that they get when they're not liking their job and they're stressed out, because they can still be comfortable because they realize they're not the only one. Okay, or when I feel like a black sheep, realize at one point of time that probably pretty much could be the only one who thinks like this for a lot of things before they realize that there are other people and stuff. But so they're okay with, if you own your black sheepness, you're okay with being different from others and stuff like that, thinking differently from others, and understand that you have your own independent thought. So when it comes down to what you were saying, um, a black sheep is going to not feel comfortable right away in a situation when they feel stressful, like they need another job. So if they don't, that level of discomfort is going to just increase and cause way more stress and havoc in their lives. That person who is not a black sheep is going to probably allow themselves to stay there a little bit longer, take their time with getting out. And matter of fact, sometimes maybe never get out because they figure that they're strong enough to deal with it. Everybody else has to, or everyone else does. And the black sheep realize that that's not true, right? And then that person who does stay will have health problems and things like that, or be sad, depressed, all that type of stuff. They will do all the nine that people typically do when they have jobs that are stressful or a job that they don't like. But the black sheep, but these people will feel it little by little eventually, right? The black sheep, everything can turn to chaos real quick, real fast, or be steadily in your face every day if you don't do something about it soon. So as you get in the habit of owning your black sheepness, you will start to provide yourself with solutions way before anything transpires into a big problem, a big situation, or um, I guess a big feeling or a big emotion, right? So, for example, your car, your brakes on your car go bad, right? And you need them, get them done. If you make the conscious choice of, it's coming to my awareness that my brakes need to get done, I'm going to get them done. Then you get them done, and then the next week, your wipers go bad, and so now you go take care of that. You need to get that done, and then your tires get messed up, right? And you need tie rods and stuff. And now you'll get that done. Then you realize your light just went out. Like, you're having all these signs of awareness. All this awareness is coming to you. That stuff is happening with your car. And you should probably be saving up to get another car. And I'm not just saying because of things like a tire, regular maintenance or brakes. But I'm just saying, like, you're constantly having the same problems thrown at you, or the same types of things that are coming up, right? And so if that's a piece, and if you look at the whole, you realize it could just be time for you to start saving for a car. If you listen to your consciousness and you start saving for a car, then you'll be in good shape when your car finally does do something that is going to cost you a whole bunch of money. You might as well get another car anyway. If you do not listen to your consciousness, then you're going to be taken aback when something like that happens. And I'm not saying that that's the only way to happen. You can also, I say, like, you can also manifest any kind of situation as well. But what I'm saying is that you have to wrap your head around the fact of why things are coming to your awareness. So is it that I may have to be prepared to get a new car? Um, is it that I may have to prepare to get a new job? If they're feeling stressful or something at the job, is it that I might have to be prepared to uh, get in another relationship or end the relationship, right? Like, what is the message telling you? If you are practicing your black sheepness, then you will be in tip-top shape if something quote unquote unexpected happens, because it's almost as if everything, your consciousness was preparing you for it or aligning you for the path that you are being placed on. Someone who is not a black sheep, someone who does not follow their consciousness, would see all these signs about the car, about the job, or whatever, and instead of them making decisions to follow those signs and those patterns and do something about it, they're not doing anything about it. So then finally something happens to their car and it completely destroys or devastates them. Or something happens to their job and now or they get in trouble at their job or something like that, and now they feel like, it just got even worse. Or they have to end a relationship and their whole life is, pulled from, or they feel like the rug has been pulled from underneath them. Like life is happening to them. Okay, the people who feel like that are the ones who either um, are black sheep. So it's both extremes all the time. They either are black sheep who are not owning their black sheepness, or they are not black sheep and are not ones who like to make decisions that are tough. Okay, ones that require some additional thinking, additional resources. So they allow a lot of things to get way worse before they are forced into a corner to react. So owning your black sheepness will help you in life. Owning your black sheepness is your responsibility as a black sheep, or else you're no longer a black sheep, which doesn't make sense because you'll still be a black sheep. You'll just be trying to fit into someone else's box, trying to fit into something else's box. So being a black sheep and owning your black sheepness, it is your responsibility to practice connecting with you. So developing your own spiritual system of some sort, or some kind of practice where you're tuning in with yourself, with you. It's your responsibility as a black sheep because that's how you hear yourself. That's how you maintain your black sheep status when it's strongest, because it's going to be there regardless. But you want to strengthen that connection. And so when this is saying, "Baa baa black sheep, have you any wool?" I feel like the hair is connected to the spiritual realm too. And if you willingly give your hair to the master, the dame, or the little boy who lives down the lane, or anyone that if you give that up, you're basically giving up your spirituality. So I see that as being symbolic with spirituality, the woolly hair. Okay, so it's like it's talking to the black sheep subconsciously, saying that if you are a black sheep, you're going to allow yourself to have a master, a dame, and even care, and even be subservient, for lack of better words, to a little boy who lives in a lane, which is just some little, we don't know. Just it could be any old body, okay? That's how conditioned you are, even though you're a black sheep. And willingly, you're going to give up control of your own spirituality or connection, because you're going to be giving all your black hair, your black wool to um, these others who basically are, you're allowing to control you or have strength over you, or that you are just willingly giving your power over to. Okay, so maybe that's what the little boy down the lane is then. I don't know. But anyway, all that speaks to your subconscious to prevent you, or to be like a barrier to stop you from getting to from truly owning your black sheepness. If you truly own your black sheepness, you will discover how powerful you can be in this setting, how you will discover how spiritually connected you are within the physical realm. So that's what I got from Baa Baa Black Sheep. And I wanted to remind you all to own your black sheepness. Did you have any insight?
No, that's right.
Okay,
I don't really remember any nursery rhymes. I don't think I liked any of them. I used to like MC Hammer, Pumps and Bump.
You didn't listen to MC Hammer when you were a baby?
Yes, I did.
How old were you when you listened to that?
I was listening to that when I was like 9 days old. That was the first song that I played.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's another point though too. Think about the nursery rhymes you do remember, even if you don't know if your parents played them for you or not. Because I know, like for my child back then, I was real different. But I would play, like I'll buy these like nursery rhyme CDs. I would buy these like nursery rhyme CDs and let him listen to it like all day while he was playing and stuff like that. So that stuff was going in his subconscious mind, right? I know. But looking at him now, I can't tell you. It was like 101 nursery rhymes. So who knows what the hell kind of songs it was he was listening to, because they say nursery rhymes and you assume that they're safe if you're not questioning everything, right? So honestly, I can't say which songs I have um, played for my children. I can tell you with the new one, yeah, but not my first one. I don't know. I can tell you I probably sang. I could tell you which songs I sang to him. And then even my own childhood, I know one song my mom sang to me. I'm about to go look up them lyrics too. But think about the nursery rhymes that you remember, the ones that were sang to you, and the ones that you sing to your children. Think about the fairy tales that you read to your children and ask yourself, what else could this mean? Okay? So if you are a black sheep and you are receiving this message now, comment below if you remember the Baa Baa Black Sheep song, because that means that somewhere down the lane it was said to you. And maybe it had an effect on your consciousness or how you showed up as a black sheep. And now, with your new awareness on this, you're able to reclaim your black sheepness and own it. Own it with pride. Have a great night, Star Pupils.